I'm philanthropic because in my career, I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of nonprofits in Central Ohio, and I've noticed the brilliant and remarkable accomplishments that philanthropy can bring.
I'm philanthropic because it matters. We can't sit on the sideline.
I'm philanthropic because as a young child who migrated to this country, this community has given me so much.
I am philanthropic because I saw from an early age that I had just lucked into the life of privilege that I have. I went to elementary school in Izmir, Turkey, and saw extreme poverty. And I knew that I had an obligation to make things better.
I am philanthropic because it means so much to me to be able to help another organization meet its goals.
I am philanthropic for a variety of reasons. One is that my parents taught us when we were growing up that we had an obligation to help others at any point in time when we had advantages or opportunities.
I'm philanthropic because my family taught me about philanthropy, but I also had the opportunity to watch others be philanthropic, and that helped me learn how to give back.
I am philanthropic simply because I like to put smiles on people's faces, and I love to improve the lives of those around me.
I am philanthropic because what I do for my community makes all of us stronger.
I'm philanthropic because I'm from Central Ohio and I want to make Central Ohio a better place.
I am philanthropic because I learn from watching the generosity of other people, and it brings me great joy.
So my wife Jennifer and I are philanthropic because it feeds our souls.
I'm philanthropic because it's important to love your neighbor, all of your neighbors.
I'm philanthropic because I believe I can change the world.
I'm philanthropic because I know that
I'm philanthropic because I think it's in my DNA.
I am philanthropic because change is collaborative. We are stronger together, and the impact made locally is also felt nationally and globally.
I'm philanthropic because nothing feels better than helping people.
I'm philanthropic because I believe when you give, you actually get more out of it. It actually feels good to make an impact and support other programs and making an impact on the clients that they serve.
I'm philanthropic because I place the needs of others above my own comforts.
I'm philanthropic because the more you have to give.
I'm philanthropic because giving back is the least that I can do for the many blessings that I've had in my life.
Hello everyone, I'm Matt Barnes from NBC4 and welcome to the 28th Annual National Philanthropy Day Awards presented by the Central Ohio chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. It is my absolute honor to be the MC for the 4th straight year of this event, and of course we can't gather in person this year unfortunately due to circumstances as you know, but hey, we're gathered together virtually and that is all that matters as we celebrate all those people who give of not just their time, give of their resources, but most importantly, give of their hearts. To get us going, I first want to bring in Jeff Redfield. Jeff?
Thanks, Matt. Hello, I'm Jeff Redfield, this year's chapter president of the Central Ohio Association of Fundraising Professionals, commonly known as AFP. AFP is an international organization, globally with chapters all around the world. Our organization practices ethical fundraising, with the intention through professional education, networking, research, and advocacy to have philanthropic impact. Here in Central Ohio, we are one of the 20 largest chapters globally, which is a great representation with our membership representing thousands of nonprofits in this area. It's a great representation of philanthropy in our community, which is having an impact in so many ways. Even after everything that's happened in 2020, we're celebrating philanthropy. We're celebrating giving. And we've heard some amazing stories of our local philanthropists and the difference they have made here in Central Ohio. And now we invite you to be a philanthropist in whatever way, whatever level you are able to. Join in making a difference in people's lives. Join in making Central Ohio the great place we all call home. We very much appreciate you joining us for this year's celebration of giving. Matt?
Thank you, Jeff. Today we are recognizing 9 amazing honorees who are role models in philanthropy. Of course, there are hundreds of thousands of people in our community who give of their time and resources each and every day and help our community, and we thank all of them. But today we are especially excited to recognize those 9 individuals, companies, and foundations who are making a big difference here, right here in Central Ohio. In fact, let's take a quick look at the importance of philanthropy right here in Greater Columbus.
Hi, I'm Kay Wilson, President-elect for AFP Central Ohio. And with me today I have
Dan Sharp with the Columbus Foundation.
Jeremy Ball with Big Lots and the Big Lots Foundation.
Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. So where do the two of you think that true philanthropy happens in Columbus?
I'd have to say true philanthropy happens on the sidewalk and the skyscrapers. And that's not intended to sound trite, but it's really exciting, and we've talked about inspiration. But the sidewalk, you could have a school-aged child who has learned about a community need, maybe through the really thoughtful curriculum of Seeds of Caring, and now they have a lemonade stand and they want the proceeds of that to go to the cause that they cared about. So real live action happening on the sidewalk, and then everything in between. But then you think about the skyscrapers that are adorned with really generous company names in our community, and there's a strong legacy of corporate giving, but it's not just about the transaction of giving from the organization in that skyscraper, it's about the associate.
So I'm going to take a cue from you because I know with Columbus Foundation we've talked a little bit about the big table. And so for me, it's at the table. It's at the boardroom, and it's at the desk, if you will, and it is at the kitchen table or the dining room table. It happens at home. You mentioned what your family instilled in you, and I think that's so important. I can't think about my grandmother any more than when I think about philanthropy. What she had and sometimes what she didn't have. My grandmother had a very small change purse, right? And so change purse is foreign to me, so I'm sure it's maybe foreign to you all. But she had a change purse, and so when she had that extra change from whenever she went to the grocery store, that was the change that she would use for somebody who she would see on the street. Or that was the change that she would use when she was trying to, again, build into somebody's dream, as you mentioned earlier. And seeing that has had an incredible impression on me.
I think that's a great illustration. I think true philanthropy happens in Columbus really every day. You know, you can look at the big examples, you know, like you mentioned the skyscrapers, but you also mentioned the sidewalks, right? And it's in all these small moments where people take an opportunity to affect someone else's life in a positive way. So I think, for me, true philanthropy happens when each of us make a decision to get involved.
All right, thank you, Kay, Jeremy, and Dan for your insights. We have a bright future ahead when we all work together. We all know that. All right, let's jump right into our program. As we do that, you should know that if you're watching on Facebook, we'd love for you to get involved, join the conversation. You can leave a comment right there. Our volunteers will be on hand to answer any questions you may have or forward your comments on to the award recipients. Plus, I know there are some of you out there that would love to send a tribute to these recipients as we honor them. You can do that. You can post that tribute simply by going to the link that you see on the screen there. You can also make a modest contribution to scholarships, and we will also post your congratulatory note. All right, let's present our first and most important AFP award. That is the Outstanding Philanthropist of the Year. And that is sponsored by the Columbus Foundation. And here to present that is Angela Parsons, VP for Donor Services.
Thank you, Matt. As Matt said, I'm Angela Parsons, Vice President for Donor Services at the Columbus Foundation. And I am honored to start this year's award program by presenting AFP's Outstanding Philanthropist of the Year Award, presented by the Columbus Foundation. Philanthropy, the giving of one's time, talent, and treasure, elevates and improves the lives of others, often people not known to the donor. That makes it a selfless act, one that shows empathy, care, and concern for others, or as we like to say at the Columbus Foundation, demonstrates kindness. This year's recipients have shown outstanding philanthropic commitment to our community. For over 20 years, they've supported children's health, the arts, hospice, and education. They are passionate, they are leaders, and I am very honored to announce that this year's award recipients are Tom and Ann DeMarco. Now let's learn a little bit more about them.
How we got started in philanthropy really goes back to the 1980s. And it really had to do with my brother who had leukemia. And unfortunately, he passed away within 4 months. So our family set up a drive to support the Leukemia Foundation. And it was the basketball tournament and selling trinkets and candy and things like that. And we raised about $8,000. And, you know, it gets in your blood when you start seeing what you can do. We set up a small foundation through the Columbus Foundation, a small donor advised fund. And it grew from there. And, you know, it just is contagious when you see the impact of what you can do. It just feels natural. And besides, Ann said that I can't take it with me, so we got to do something. So
no, and we want our children to know that society and people matter. And when you can help people, it's a really wonderful thing. And so, you know, we want to be a good example to our children. We want our children to continue to be givers, and we just see that it really impacts the community. It can be small, but you can make it into something more. We found that by working with Nationwide Children's Hospital, we've been able to impact the health care of children in the Central Ohio area and beyond. It's very touching when you go there and you see the children and you know that what you're doing can really help them.
I think it's the same with the Kid Again and with the Ronald McDonald House. And kids just are part of what we believe in, you know, the health and the education and really having fun.
And I think we recognize the relief on parents' faces when they have their child out just being normal like everyone else's child is. It's just like that moment of wonder for them. We're often asked, you know, why we give to a certain organization. And I have to say truthfully that in life there's lots of things and stuff, but things and stuff, they're not what's true and real. And being able to give to people is true and real. And that's very important to us.
Congratulations once again to Tom and Ann DeMarco on receiving the AFP Outstanding Philanthropist Award, sponsored by the Columbus Foundation. We just want to thank you for all of your inspirational work on behalf of so many nonprofits. You've clearly had a huge impact on the life of others and those who are watching right now, and frankly on many who live right here in Central Ohio. As a reminder, you can join in as we honor all of our honorees and someone else you admire. All you have to do is post a tribute. Simply go to the link you see on your screen. You can make a modest contribution to scholarships. We will post your congratulatory note right there, and we'll send a note to the person you are congratulating when we get that. Let's move on to our next award. That is one of our favorites, the AFP Outstanding Small Business Award. This award honors a business that demonstrates outstanding commitment to philanthropy, encourages and motivates others to also get involved as well, especially in those philanthropic leadership roles. And this small business, well, they're a great place to work, clearly, because they've been named a top place to work in Central Ohio, but it's what they do as well. They encourage their employees to volunteer, get this, over 1,000 hours a year. That's a lot of hours. And invite those who rent their apartments to actually donate to charity, contribute to charity along with their rent, and they match it. How great is that? And look at some of the organizations they support. We're talking the Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, Habitat for Humanity, the YWCA, the Children's Hunger Alliance, and more. It's just a fantastic work that they do. I'm very proud to say that this year's honoree is the Champion Companies. Let's learn more about that.
Michelle and I got started in philanthropy very early in our careers when we founded Champion. We believed that if we were going to be successful in our community, that success needed not just be business and monetary success, but success in improving the lives of others. Community is a core principle at the Champion Companies, and Michelle and I believe deeply in it.
The Champion Cares Foundation supports organizations like Boys and Girls Club of Central Ohio, Children's Hunger Alliance, the YWCA, and I would say that what touches us about those organizations is that they serve families and they serve children.
At the Champion Companies, we have a philosophy, and that is to give and give generously to all organizations that support basic needs.
We launched the Round Up Your Rent program, and what that is an option that we provide all new move-ins, all residents in our apartment homes, the ability to round up their rent by just $1 a month. For each resident, it would equate to $12 annually, and then Champion matches that. I think what is equally important to us, if not more important, is that we're shining a spotlight on all the nonprofits in the area that are doing such critical work in serving our most vulnerable residents.
We're shining a light on the need to give back. We're trying to enlist our residents, our customers, in that same philanthropic generosity spirit that we have at Champion to show that alignment within our culture. Michelle and I feel that in our bellies, and what that is a calling to give big, give generously, until every kid in the community has the same experiences, opportunities, and resources that our children have.
Anyone who would ask me for advice about launching a giving program or starting their own foundation, I think first and foremost my advice would be to just start. If it's on your heart and it's on your mind. So start, do what you can, and simply just challenge yourself each year to do a little bit more than you did the year before.
I think at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're going to be judged and looked at, on how much you loved your family, and how good of a friend you were, and how much you gave. Michelle and I founded this company just over 10 years ago, and while we feel like we've done a lot on the business and the nonprofit side, we really feel like we're just getting started.
Congratulations to the Champion Companies. What an incredible story from a company that embodies the spirit of philanthropy in Central Ohio. I am Dawn Robinson, and I am the National Philanthropy Day Sponsorship Chair for this year's NPD celebration. As any nonprofit professional will tell you, this year has had its challenges, and sponsors are more important than ever. Sponsors are the measure of our community's support for organizations and their missions. But more importantly, they make our programming possible. Sponsorship dollars for National Philanthropy Day go directly to support educational and sponsorship opportunities for the Central Ohio Association of Nonprofit Professionals. So now please join me in celebrating this year's 2020 National Philanthropy Day sponsors. Our naming sponsors, the Columbus Foundation. The Columbus Foundation is the naming sponsor for the Outstanding Philanthropist of the Year Award and has been this sponsor for the past 3 years, and we thank them. The Big Lots Foundation. The Big Lots Foundation is naming sponsor for the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award, and they have been the sponsor since 2013. Our award sponsors, our tribute sponsors, our celebration sponsors, our community sponsors, our media sponsors. Also, let me remind you that this year you too can join in the celebration by honoring a frontline worker, a colleague, or a volunteer, and others with a tribute. Simply go to the link below, and for a small donation, you tell us who you would like to honor. We'll post your tribute and send a customized note to the honoree, and it's really that simple. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate philanthropy in Central Ohio, and thank you to all of our sponsors.
Thank you so much, Dawn. And we do want to take this time to thank all of you and thank the sponsors who make this celebration of giving possible. Obviously want to thank all of you who are out there donating to those scholarship funds. That's going to help a lot of people, as well as sending in those tributes to someone you admire. It's all going to make a huge difference. And thank you so much for just being a part of this program. It is amazing what happens when people come together, right, to lift up a community. It truly is the highest level of selflessness, and that's what makes this program so inspiring, isn't it? This dedicated group of volunteers started fundraising a few decades ago. That's a long time, but they're doing it to build and improve what is a wonderful community resource. They are innovative and resourceful, and they're also known for their transparency and accountability, as well as their ability to just create fun and specialized events. They're really, really amazing, and I am so pleased to announce that this year's recipient of the AFP Outstanding Volunteer Fundraising Group goes to the Friends of Schiller Park.
What is so special about Schiller Park? It's 150 plus years old now, and it has been the recreational center of our community for a century and a half. So Schiller Park is the collective backyard. It's where children learn to ride their bicycles, it's where people exercise and do yoga, and it is truly the town center, like a town square. The Friends of Schiller have had a strategy for fundraising that has worked from the very first larger projects that we took on. We go out and we find some large gifts to be sure that the project is going to be possible. And then we go out to the full community because we want everybody to be able to give $5 or $25 and feel that they have contributed to the enhancements in Schiller Park. There were 4 young mothers who founded the Friends of Schiller Park, and a sort of extraordinary story is that 3 of the 4 are still on the board of trustees 38 or 9 years later. One of them moved away with their family to the East Coast, but we have Connie Swain and Janet Druin and Elsbeth Willoughby, who are as involved today as they were all those years ago, even though their children are no longer playing on the playground. They have grandchildren playing on the playground, but their passion runs deep. We thought about, why do we do what we do? And we had to admit that it's selfish. We love the park. We want the park to be the best that it can be, and we have the best time together. Philanthropy is a way of life in our community, and it is shown in lots of different ways, whether it's just being a very kind and thoughtful neighbor. We talk to each other about being thoughtful urban neighbors. It is also stepping up when you're needed. We want things to be a little bit nicer than what government can provide, and this is the way we do it, whether it's streetlights or a fountain in the park or flags for 3rd Street. Everybody's willing to do their part.
Congratulations to the Friends of Schiller Park. You've left an amazing legacy that will be enjoyed for generations to come. Speaking of legacies, the charitable gift planners of Central Ohio are excited to honor and recognize an individual who has translated her values, goals, and vision into reality by harnessing the power of gift planning. People who are considered for this Leave a Legacy Award have established a gift in their will, created a trust, or set up another vehicle to help ensure that their support of their favorite nonprofits continues well past their lifetime. It gives me great pleasure to recognize a well-published psychologist, a professor emeritus of psychology at The Ohio State University, and a true friend to our community. She's been truly generous both personally and through her family foundation, and has recently established a bequest through her estate plan to benefit the Ohio Health Neuroscience Center. Please help me in recognizing this thoughtful individual who has planned her giving to live on in perpetuity, Dr. Gifford Weary. Let's learn more about her now.
I have been an advocate for top flight medical care here in Columbus and in the state of Ohio. We are a large city and we really need and deserve access to the very best, the most comprehensive, the most compassionate medical care available. And for me personally, I focused my philanthropic efforts on the Neuroscience Center, Ohio Health Neuroscience Center at Riverside in particular. So it was a natural thing for me to want to do what I could to help them in their efforts to help patients who are suffering with complex brain or nervous system or spinal problems. Those kinds of problems can really rob us of the quality of our lives. But I have another philanthropic passion, and that is higher education. I've been a faculty member at Ohio State for a long time. We face so many big problems today, but at the root of those big issues are problems in human behavior. And I think the work of our top-rated psychology department is well positioned to help us start to address some of these big issues. The beginning of my philanthropy for Ohio Health really comes from a set of personal experiences that I had. I found myself struggling to recover from a failed back surgery. I couldn't walk very well, I couldn't sit, I couldn't figure out how to sleep very well, and I was just so fortunate to find that surgeon at Ohio Health Riverside Neuroscience Center. And when I showed up in Dr. Bay's office, I think she had figured out what was wrong with me just by watching me walk from her waiting room to her examination room. I don't really know how you thank somebody for that kind of work and that kind of effort. And certainly the chair in neurosurgery that I endowed in Dr. Bay's name was an expression of that profound gratitude. I hope that the giving that my husband and I do now, and I hope that the estate gift that I've given will help recruit talent and will help provide the services that patients with really difficult medical neurological conditions have to deal with. I really hope that it provides that quality of compassionate expert care well into the future.
Congratulations, Dr. Weary. What an inspiration. Your work will continue to impact generations. I'm Regina Allison, board member for Central Ohio AFP since 2018. I'd like to take a pause in our awards ceremony to chat a bit about AFP and what we're doing to confront some of the issues that our country is facing. It's no secret, these are turbulent times. Throughout 2020, we've all had to confront racism, implicit bias, as well as the ways that we can do better to value the contributions and the humanity of all people. And AFP has not been immune to these issues, and neither have our members or our member organizations. we've taken this time to examine our status quo, and in doing so, recognize there was work to be done. We continue to grow diverse representation on our board. We value the diversity of age, race, ethnicity, and experience within our board. In 2019, we launched the Big Idea series to create space for ongoing dialogue about issues important to us, creating space and making room for fundraisers to identify the roles in the work that they can do to advance inclusion and equity. And we're really thrilled and grateful for our new partnership with the Columbus Foundation, which grants professional AFP memberships to underrepresented groups. I'm passionate about the power of philanthropy, and I take great pride in serving on the board for Central Ohio AFP. I consider it an honor to do this work alongside talented and brilliant colleagues in this chapter.
Thank you, Regina. I'm Jeremy Ball with Big Lots Foundation, and we share AFP's commitment to lifting up all people in our community. We know that every single one of us has a role to play when it comes to advancing racial equality, and we also are there to support our friends and colleagues who might be struggling. And we're proud of members of our younger generation who in many ways are leading the way. In fact, it's one of the reasons why we sponsor the Big Lots Foundation Youth in Philanthropy Award as a part of National Philanthropy Day. This year's award recipient started the Read to Succeed Foundation out of her love for reading and recognizing that many students don't have access to a steady supply of books. She's distributed more than 80,000 books over the last 5 years. That's more than 16,000 books a year to various food pantries, schools, and other nonprofit organizations. I'm happy to announce that the honoree for this year's Big Lots Foundation Youth in Philanthropy Award and a gift of $2,500 to her foundation is Emily Spector. Emily joins us from the University of Georgia, where she's a freshman studying genetics.
I began the Read to Succeed Foundation because I saw such an important need in the community to bring educational resources to underprivileged families and children who are unable to provide these important resources for their children to succeed in school and have a better chance at succeeding in future life. I call my foundation the Read to Succeed Foundation because I truly believe that reading, and like I like to call it brain food, is truly the root of success. Over the past 7 years, I've been able to donate over 85,000 books, and I'm always working to expand this goal. I work with 99 different organizations, and this number is always expanding because I'm always reaching out to new organizations to try to get books to them. These organizations include food pantries, underprivileged charter schools, Head Start preschools, centers for family services like Moms to Be, and the Center for Family Safety and Healing. I really just strive to work with any organization serving the underprivileged because I think it is so important for everyone to have access to books. I also love seeing kids pick out books. It just makes me so happy, and to see parents and grandparents lighting up when I bring in the books and being so excited to tell me about their kids' favorite books and to get these for them. So it has been filled with lots and lots of joy. Personally, I have a deep drive to serve the community because on a personal level, it is just so rewarding to be able to make a positive investment into my community. I believe it is just such an important cause to address the cycle of intergenerational poverty, and by doing something so easy, just by donating a book, which many of us just have lying forgotten in our house, we can make truly a tremendous impact in the lives of others. And I believe that we should never give up an opportunity to help when we are so readily available and able to do this. My personal philosophy when it comes to philanthropy is together we make a difference. By coming together as a community and by supporting one another, it is so easy to make of large impacts in our community. I also believe that you can truly never be too young. I started as a 6th grader, which many people think that when you're that young, you can't make an amazing or large impact in the community, but by getting the support of others and following through on a mission, you can make such a tremendous impact.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Patel and I'm going into my 2nd year as mentorship chair with AFP. Today, I'm joined by my AFP colleagues, Tiffany Nobles and Kate Bruner-Quinn, who will share a little bit more about their roles with AFP.
Thanks for having me today. I'm Kate Bruner-Quinn. I'm the current technology chair for the Association of Fundraising Professionals.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Nobles. I'm going into my 1st year as nominations chair for National Philanthropy Day.
Today, we're here to talk a little bit about how AFP is impacting the professional development of our young professionals. Kate, would you share a little bit more about that?
I'd love to. Well, I wish I was still a young professional, but I'm not. For all the young professionals that I have led on teams and even ones that I interact with, I always encourage them to join AFP because building your own professional network is so important for your development. It's been one of the best things that I've done with joining AFP is meeting all of these wonderful people like Christina and Tiffany and so many other people, because development is hard work and it's not an easy job and we all really need to stick together. And so I want young professionals to have that also. So from monthly education sessions to this fabulous fundraising conference once a year, it's a fabulous opportunity for young professionals to grow in the profession, to build their network and just learn.
Thank you, Kate. I agree that there's so many learning opportunities available within AFP for young professionals. And it's been a joy to get to know you as well as Tiffany through our mentorship program. Tiffany, do you mind sharing a little bit more about your upcoming role with AFP and how that is giving young professionals an opportunity to develop themselves?
Thanks, Christina, for the opportunity to speak a little bit. I really enjoyed participating with the mentorship program and getting to know both you and Kate. As incoming nominations chair for National Philanthropy Day for 2021, I'm starting a little bit early by working with members of the IDEA committee as well as current nominations committee members to ensure that we can diversify both our honorees for National Philanthropy Day going forward, but as well having a diverse group of folks that are actually members. Philanthropists are all diverse, and we want to ensure that the fundraising profession and members of AFP look like the philanthropists that we work with every day.
Thanks, Tiffany. We're really excited to see how your leadership impacts our 2021 NPD celebrations. It's been a joy to get to know both Tiffany and Kate through our mentorship program this year. I've been a part of the mentorship program for about 4 years now as a mentor, but also as the mentorship chair. And I've seen how the mentorship program has been able to effectively support our young and emerging professionals, from building new skill sets to securing new jobs, and in the end, it impacts our whole Central Ohio community and the missions that our organizations serve. Thank you all for joining us today and allowing us to share how AFP of Central Ohio is impacting our young professionals. I'm going to hand it back off to you, Matt Barnes, to help us continue our celebrations.
Well, thank you, Christina, Kate, and Tiffany, for your insights on how AFP is working to help young fundraisers learn their skills as well as develop their craft. It is inspiring to see how AFP is supporting efforts to help young people especially ethically raise funds and obviously have that help improve our community. So thank you so much for sharing that. Well, as we recognize those who support and engage in philanthropy today, we want to turn now to a foundation who has been doing this a long time and has made a big impact on our community. This award recognizes a community foundation with a strong record of exceptional generosity and innovative charitable responsibility. As always, we look for leaders that encourage and motivate others to be philanthropic. Well, since 1985, this foundation has been doing just that, as well as supporting people's spiritual needs in a 23-county area of Central Ohio. With a recent clear focus on youth ministry and education, this foundation has supported summer camps, they've supported schools, they've supported young people with those moral, spiritual values. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's AFP Outstanding Foundation is the Catholic Foundation, and let's learn more about them.
The Catholic Foundation is a community foundation based here in Columbus that supports the work of the Catholic Diocese of Columbus. We work and partner with over 100 different churches from Central and Southern Ohio, as well as over 50 schools and multiple social service organizations. We provide vital funding to their missions, mainly due to the generosity of many of the donors throughout those areas. Our foundation supports organizations from the whole gamut of Catholic institutions, from churches, elementary schools, high schools, Catholic universities, as well as numerous social service organizations, both here in Columbus and around the 23 counties of the Diocese of Columbus. Philanthropy to me is a sense of selflessness. It's a sense of giving back. It's putting others ahead of yourself. It is that time, talent, and treasure that you're willing to give to someone else because you value others over yourself. You see an inherent need and you do something to make sure that that takes place. The Catholic Foundation decides what to support based on donor intent. As a community foundation, it's important for us to align our mission with what our donors care about and are supportive of. Our Catholic teaching expresses that we should care for those who are less fortunate than ourselves. And it's because of those teachings that we put our mission in place of helping support by partnering with our donors for the greatest needs within our community. Donors are able to come through the foundation and put a plan in place that will be able to support the things that are important to them in the long term. For those who want to live a fulfilling life, my advice would be, don't wait. You don't have to wait until you're 80 years old to make a difference. You can do that now. Philanthropy is not age limited. You can start today by creating a fund or volunteering.
AFP represents almost 30,000 individuals and organizations that are all dedicated to creating impact in our communities through fundraising and philanthropy. As champions of ethical fundraising, we work to increase public trust in charitable giving by ensuring that your contributions are used appropriately and ethically. What an amazing National Philanthropy Day celebration this is! Hats off to the Central Ohio chapter and to all these honorees. There are such an incredible sense of community, generosity, and dedication in the greater Columbus area. Philanthropy is a critical pillar of our free society. Our giving, our volunteering, our engagement doesn't just help people, it defines who we are. It strengthens the idea of justice, ethics, and democracy. It's a concrete way that we support a free, engaged, just, and equitable society. That's why it's so important that we recognize our honorees today, not just because of their gifts and contributions. We also need them because they are role models. We're inspired by them. We are moved to action because of their work. In that spirit, it is my honor to introduce the recipient of this year's Outstanding Fundraising Professional Award, an award that recognizes a fundraising professional who practices his or her profession in an exemplary manner. This year's recipient is the only Advanced Certified Fundraising Professional, or ACFRE, in Central Ohio. He has served on the board of AFP Global, and I'm proud to call him my friend. This year's Outstanding Fundraising Professional Award goes to Bill Bartolini. Congratulations, Bill.
I've been very fortunate to spend 39 years in fundraising. The last 5 years of those have been at Ohio State University. The rewards are really amazing because you meet great people who want to do good things. And as a professional fundraiser, you really become a facilitator of their philanthropy. In the process, not only do you meet the people who are the philanthropists, but you also often get to meet the recipients of their philanthropy. You get to see people whose lives are completely changed because of philanthropy. I think there's great emotional benefit for giving. You have the opportunity to make someone really happy, change their lives. It's a very powerful thing to do. So I'm a big believer in it. The reason I got into philanthropy is because the local public radio station asked me to come work for them and be their director of promotions and development. And then my boss, after about 6 weeks, said, "You know, Bill, it's time we do one of those on-air fund drives." And I said, "John, why are you telling me that?" And he said, "Bill, that's what development is. Your job is to raise money for the station." I was shocked. I went ahead, we did one of those on-air fund drives, and in 3 days, we raised $17,854, and I was hooked. It's a wonderful, rewarding thing to raise money for a cause. I can't ask for money for myself, but I can certainly ask people to participate and do good things, and that's very rewarding. I have been very much influenced by my father. He was a wonderful, wonderful man and had a very big heart, and he was a great teacher. One of the other things that he said to me at one time was, "Bill, make your corner of the world a little bit better." Now, mind you, I was 7 or 8 years old. I didn't understand where the corner of the world was, and it confused me for years. But now I have a great understanding that any of us can make our own little corner of the world better. For me, the meaning of philanthropy is about feeding one's soul by caring about your fellow human being, or caring about the earth, or caring about animals. But it's about caring and acting upon that caring. So we might call philanthropy a noun, but really, to be self-actualized, one should treat philanthropy as a verb and jump in and do it.
Congratulations to Bill Bartolini. Over 39 years, you have clearly made an impact on the lives of many people through your efforts. We want to thank you for that. Congratulations once again on your recognition. Now let's recognize AFP's Large Corporation Award for the year. Each year, AFP's National Philanthropy Day recognizes the corporation that demonstrates outstanding commitment to the community through philanthropy. To be recognized in this category, you kind of have to lead through leadership, encourage and motivate others to make this happen. And I'm happy to say that this year's recipient does exactly that. Yeah, this large corporation has a big footprint in our community, but they care about the small, about the homeless who are seeking shelter and seeing that there's no one there to give it. But they also have the education and cultural enrichment to lead fulfilling lives. A donor to a broad range of issues. We're talking everything from the Community Shelter Board to the Columbus Museum of Art. This corporation has been strongly integrated in our community ever since their founding in 1929. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring this year's award winner, Battelle. And to hear more about Battelle, here's President and CEO Louis Von Thayer.
My name is Lou Von Thayer. I'm the CEO of Battelle, and I've been here for 3 years now in Columbus and enjoying my work. So Battelle is actually the largest independent R&D organization in the world. We've grown to over $9 billion, almost doubling in size in the last 3 years, and we do a lot of things in chemistry, biology, and advanced materials to really try to solve problems, including working on the coronavirus solutions right now. From the philanthropy side, we have a very deep passion across the company. We're a nonprofit business, but we actually operate like a for-profit business. But instead of paying dividends to shareholders, we actually give that money away. And we tend to focus around STEM education. Battelle has a great story of how it got started. Gordon Battelle was actually an industrialist. He ran metallurgy plants here in central Ohio. When he passed away, he left $1 million in his will to set up an organization that would do research for the betterment of society, which was very interesting in those days. Out of that, we've evolved over time. His mother, Annie, died a few years later and left part of her will to Battelle as well, and a new institute started out of that $3 million and has grown into the large organization that is today. With that benefit and being a nonprofit, philanthropy has always been part of the company and part of our philosophy of how we operate. And we tend to focus on partnering with organizations that can build programs that will become self-sufficient over time, so we can continue to add to the capability and add to the impact. One of the things we always talk about is it's easy to give away money. It's hard to give away money in lasting ways. But we support a number of great organizations in town. Two examples are the Columbus Museum of Art and the Community Shelter Board. Both those organizations are working with kids, they're working with families that have had a tough time, and they're trying to bring educational resources and programs that get the kids off the street and keep them busy. And we celebrate and share the impacts that they have. We look at the kids coming out of the metro high schools that we support. We see the STEM programs. We look at the Girl Scout projects that are being built, all the different organizations that we've worked with over time. And it's always a great celebration to see what can be accomplished and how it can change people's lives. We've actually set a goal to try to reach 1 million kids a year by the year 2025, and we're almost halfway to that goal after the last few years. So it's a mission that we're on as an organization. So to Battelle, philanthropy is a way of life. It is the mission, it's part of why we're all here. It is the passion in what we do. So my advice for those who want to live a fulfilling life is do what you're doing every day to make your life work, but find a time, carve some time out, carve some resources out, and make a difference for others. And do it in a way that you're passionate about and in a way that you can see the outcome, because I can tell you personally, it will warm your soul, it'll inspire you to do more.
Isn't it just wonderful to see a big company like Battelle want to give back as much as they do and care so much about our community? It really is special. Congratulations, Battelle, on that well-deserved recognition. All right, everyone, let us present the final recognition in this year's AFP National Philanthropy Day celebration. It is the AFP Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser Award. And this might be my favorite award we give because this one honors an individual who demonstrates exceptional skills. And not just that, but the way they coordinate and motivate groups of people in these fundraising projects. It takes serious leadership skills to make that happen. You're going to soon find out this year's recipient of the AFP Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser Award has certainly done that. Here are some of his credentials. A 1971 graduate of Lyndon McKinley High School, a 1980 alum of Capital University. He embodies the spirit of the Columbus way, born and bred right here. He's a champion of the underdog. This generous volunteer has aligned himself with successful nonprofits, and I'm going to read them off so I don't get this wrong. We're talking Directions for Youth and Families, St. Vincent Family Center, St. Stephen's Community House, Women to Women Networking, and a Kid Again. A lot of great volunteerism there, and he makes sure that all of them are not marginalized any longer. He is absolutely worthy of this award. Please join me in recognizing Ernie Sullivan.
I was born and raised in Linden. In Linden, there's an organization called St. Stephen's Community House. That community house helped to raise me. I was a person in my youth going to St. Stephen's for their after-school programs. My parents used their food pantry. We had 11 brothers and sisters, right? So we needed a lot of help. So the opportunity came for me to join the board of St. Stephen's Community House, where I had grown up, and that was my first real board service, and I worked hard on that board and eventually became the president of that board. So that's kind of how I got started, and then I caught the service fever, and now I'm out here, on 5 or 6 other boards now. I'm attracted to the organizations that I work with mainly because of mission. That's number one. I always look at the mission of the organization, what are their goals, what are they trying to accomplish. But what also attracts me to organizations is what I would call passion and caring. When I'm talking to people, I like to see that they're really serious about what they're doing, they're passionate about it, and they're doing it because they really care about the people they're servicing. I will tell you that you know, the pandemic came in March, and we're still in the pandemic actually. And on the boards I was serving on, there was a real worry around, oh my God, we're not going to be able to have our signature events. I have been so pleasantly surprised at Columbus, Ohio's response to virtual events. And our organizations are still raising large sums of money during the pandemic. So that tells me all I need to know about Columbus and our willingness and caring about philanthropy. My personal philosophy about philanthropy is a simple one. It's two words. It's about service. Philanthropy to me is about service, willing to serve others, right? And help them meet their needs, especially the underserved community. But in addition to being about service, it's about investment. I never say that I'm making contributions when I give of my finances to organizations. I say I'm making an investment. That's a different word. And I believe that's what we're doing. If we can make individuals stronger, then they have stronger families. And if we have stronger families, we have stronger communities. If we have stronger communities, we have a stronger nation. So I think it all kind of fits together for me. It's about service, it's about investment.
Well, what an amazing group of honorees we have this year. I hope you found it as inspirational as I do each and every year. And now let's turn that into a call of action, right? That inspiration we all feel. How are each of you going to be philanthropic in the coming year? It's been a rough 2020, we know, but let's make 2021 the best yet. We asked each one of our awardees and volunteers that very question. We're going to take a look at their answers, and while you watch that, think about what you would say. In 2021.
For 2021.
2021.
In 2021.
For 2021.
In 2021.
I 2021.
In 2021.
In 2021.
In 2021.
And in 2021.
For 2021.
I'm gonna be better, do better, and give better.
Update our estate plans and continue supporting our donor advised fund at the Catholic Foundation.
Challenge myself and challenge our organization to do more than we did in 2020.
Continue to help fundraisers reach their highest goals.
I want to do more philanthropically. I want to give more for my future, for the future of my children, for the future of everyone.
Help those who have been hurt by everything that happened in 2020 and find a way to make their lives a little bit better.
Become involved with agencies, nonprofit organizations that will help heal the divisions in our country and bring us closer together.
At 80, it's time for me to dust off my estate plan to make sure that everything is in order for the benefit of my children, my grandchildren, the charities I love, in the community I call home.
Is to have a COVID-free world where we are able to meet with individuals one-on-one.
Break ground for the new Crittenden Center in Kimberly Parkway.
Patel and I plan to work to extend and begin our plans for our next Metro school. And we have a long-term plan of expanding Metro from about 1,000 kids to 5,000 kids in the coming years.
Complete the $13.5 million comprehensive campaign for the Boys and Girls Club. We're about 80% of the way there.
To continue to work with other fundraisers to unlock the passion of donors, because they make such a difference in so many people's lives when they contribute and give a gift.
So, have you thought about how you're going to be philanthropic in the coming year? I'm joined now by the chair and vice chair of this year's National Philanthropy Day event, Susie Childs and Leanne Miller, and we're also rejoined by Jeff Redfield, the local AFP chapter president.
At this time of Thanksgiving, we want to extend our gratitude to our chapter administrator, Dale Abrams, who has been with us the past 21 years as our guide. Thank you so much, Dale. I'd like to thank Leanne Miller, NPD Chair-elect, who will take the reins next year of this event. Thanks for so much you've done this year, Leanne, and good luck with next year's event. I'd like to thank Susie Childs, NPD Chair this year. Susie came back at a time when we needed her greatly. Susie, on behalf of everyone, thanks for your leadership as NPD Chair this year.
We heard some wonderful stories today. 2021 is just right around the corner. We hope you will find your philanthropic passion.
We want to send a special thank you to the Grange Insurance Audubon Center for serving as our host for this year's speakers and event. The Grange Insurance Audubon Center, if you've never been, is a fantastic venue. It's a sanctuary for birds and nature lovers, set right in downtown Columbus. It's created from a formerly urban and industrial site. The Grange Insurance Audubon Center provides a variety of ways for you to experience and connect to nature. It's absolutely beautiful. So whether you're sitting outside on one of those beautiful rocking chairs they have out there, or gazing out one of the native plant gardens, you're sure to have a wonderful time and really just take it all in. It's beautiful. So nature's waiting for you. Thank you so much once again to the Grange Insurance Audubon Center.
My thanks today to everyone who made this day of giving possible. Be safe, stay healthy, and a most blessed Thanksgiving to you and your family, be they near or far. Blessings.